Moving right along, this next song becomes very, very popular at the 1860 Republican Convention. It was written in 1858. It would be the first time Abraham Lincoln would hear this song. And this song was one of the most popular minstrel hits of the 19th century. It became a favorite of Lincoln's. They played it repeatedly at that Republican convention that, of course, propelled him onto the national nomination and to the White House that November. Now, of course, as soon as Lincoln was elected, South Carolina began steps to secede from the Union. They did so in December, and then by the time Lincoln was inaugurated in March, 6 more states had left the Union. In February of 1861, the newly formed Confederate states elected their own president. Of course, that's Jefferson Davis. We all know that. They played the same song 6 times in a row at Davis's inaugural ball in Montgomery, Alabama in February of 1861. When Lincoln heard they played Dixie 6 times in a row for Jefferson Davis, he made the statement. He said, well, the first thing these people have done is start stealing our music, because he knew Dixie was written by a Yankee from the state of Ohio. Now, one thing I've learned in 26 years of doing this is you don't go down to Tennessee and shoot your mouth off and tell some great big Confederate reenactor his favorite song was written in Ohio. Not everybody is as interested in the history of this stuff as I am. But anyway, very, very popular song. This was played by regimental bands north and south, sung by both armies around the campfire. It went through a lot of changes during the Civil War. And before I go any farther, does anybody have Confederate heritage here? Do you have a good sense of humor?
I've got both Union and Confederate.
Okay. You have a good sense of humor and no weapons on you, right? Okay. Confederate?
Both.
Oh, really? Okay, but you got a good sense of humor. I'll do Dixie. I can either do the minstrel show version of people who don't have a good sense of humor, or I can do a version the way Dan Emmett wrote it, then the way the Confederate Army sang it, and then the way the Yankee Army sang it. And I get reactions to this sometimes that aren't as positive as I think they might be. But I'll go ahead and do that for you anyway. And I think I could probably outrun anybody from the 4th row. So here we go. Dixie, written in 1858. First verse is the way Emmett wrote it. And of course, Dan Emmett wrote a lot of minstrel songs that were huge hits. The second verse is the way the Confederate Army sang it. Very eloquent, well-written version of Dixie. Then the third version is the ornery version that the Yankee Army sang. So again, good sense of humor, no weapons. Oh, I wish I was in a land of cotton. Old times there are not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. The Dixie's land where I was born early on a frosty morning. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. I wish I was in Dixie, away, away. In Dixie's land I'll take my stand to live or die in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Here's how the Confederate Army sang it. Southrons, hear your country call you up, lest work and death befall you. To arms, to arms, to arms in Dixie. Though all beacon fires are lighted, let each heart be now united. To arms, to arms, to arms in Dixie. Advance the flag of Dixie, hurrah, hurrah. For Dixie's land we'll take our stand to live or die in Dixie. To arms, to arms, conquer peace for Dixie. To arms, conquer peace for Dixie. Here's how the Yankee Army sang it, the Union Army sang it. Way down south in the land of traders, rattlesnakes and alligators. Come away, look away, come away, Dixieland. Cotton's king and men are chattel, Union boys win the battles. Come away, look away, come away, Dixieland. We'll all go down to Dixie, away, away. The Dixie boys will understand, they shouldn't mind their Uncle Sam. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. Away, away, away down south in Dixie. About 8 years ago, after a big banquet someplace, and I was pelted with dinner rolls when I got there. Another time I was in an auditorium with about 100 people in there, and the guy right in the very front row, as soon as I sang that verse, stood up and gave me a one-fingered salute, and then turned around and grabbed his wife by the shoulder of her coat and said, "We're leaving." And they left. And I don't know if people enjoyed that part of the program or the music or not, but it just brings out different reactions sometimes, and I don't want to offend anyone.